Tyomi G of GLAMerotica101. How you doing, lady?
Good. Just to correct you, it's Tyomi, but it's okay because people get it wrong all the time. Yes.
No, I need to get it right though. I got to get this right. Tyomi G. All right. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm nervous. I'm a little
Why?
bit nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Because you might prove that me as well as other guys don't know much about sex tonight. So I'm going to keep this thing in a zone where I can feel comfortable at.
Well, you know what? Do not feel uncomfortable because sexuality is a very broad spectrum, and there is a lot that is not common knowledge, and it is a huge misconception that because we are sexual beings that we have this sexual knowledge that's just innate in us, and it's not true. You have to learn these things. So just be open and be free and willing to learn something tonight. That's all.
You see, everybody, yeah. Don't get scared. I'm going to ask all of these questions that other people told me to ask, as well as my own questions. But like I said, I'm gonna stay real comfortable in my zone. First of all, where you from? I need to know where you're from.
I am from Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago, the land of the wind. That's great.
Yep, the land of the wind.
Land of the wind. And how's the weather up there? Because we got some cold weather today down here in New Jersey.
You know what? First of all, Chicago's weather is very bipolar around these times of the year. And yesterday and the day before, we had snow. And it really pissed me off because on Saturday and Sunday, it was like 70 degrees. So everybody was out here in like shorts and tank tops and flip-flops. And then the snow come out of nowhere. We're looking like, all right, look, Mother Nature needs to take her bipolar medication because we're not for this. No way.
Well, you know what? These cold days kind of force people inside, and they probably start looking at your videos, all of your videos online, and start figuring out different ways to do things. So that might be just fine.
There have been a lot of babies born around this time, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, you start a lot of stuff. You start a lot of stuff on that internet, on that YouTube thing. I've looked at a bunch of your videos, and wow. Wow is what I can say.
Well, thank you, I guess. Is that a compliment?
That's a compliment. That's definitely a compliment.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen one of your videos had over 2 million views. I'm like, where you get these people from? I guess you know what? Everybody wants to know about sex. You know.
Yes, they do, and it's interesting because there are more people out there who are curious about sex and don't even know some of the basics. And, like, some of the questions that I get asked or some of the emails that I get from people, I get emails from all around the world, like the Middle East, you know, people who are Muslim, people from Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Canada, South America. I even sometimes get messages in different languages that I can't understand, so I have to translate them. But people really want to know how to have better and more fulfilled sex lives. And you know, I mean, I just saw a need for it. I saw a part of the market that wasn't really being capitalized on, and I thought, well, I'm not afraid to talk about this stuff and put it out there, so why not be me? You know, why not just put it out there and see who catches on to it?
No doubt. You're like the Dr. Ruth of today's today's generation. You know,
that's the goal. Really? Like, I really do want to be like that super official. I mean, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a coach, like a certified coach yet, but I'm in school, like currently studying to enter a program where I will have my official certification because I do want to open up a practice and things like that. Like, I got a lot of plans for what I'm doing, but pretty much it's a lifetime of educating people about sex. And I'm actually going to be launching another website this summer that's going to be like what I do on YouTube, but a little more adult because people always want to see how these things really look in real life, but because of the restrictions on YouTube, I'm only allowed to do so much. And I don't want to piss off anybody at Google or YouTube and have them ban my page, so I try to keep it as clean and PC as possible.
I hear you. And do you have a name for your site yet?
Yeah, it's the GLAMerotica Sex Academy, and it's currently being built right now. It is a pay-per-view video sharing website. So there's going to be different categories, and it's going to be just like an academy. I'm going to be doing like live streams, and it's going to be a community board for people to like talk back and forth to each other. People can ask me questions and give suggestions on videos that they would want me to film. So it's essentially everything that I do on YouTube, just a little more in depth and a little more realistic. So there will be less clothing, not necessarily naked, but there will be less clothing, and it will be a lot more in depth. A lot more true to life. And I will be starring in quite a few of the videos, and I will also have other experts in the industry, adult film stars, other educators, doctors, and even chefs, because there's going to be a health section where we teach people how to cook to have better and more fulfilled sex lives and a higher libido. So it's going to be really great.
Yeah, incredible. This is serious. I couldn't imagine Dr. Ruth actually being on film teaching us, because she seemed like she started off as an old lady, you know. So I'm glad that you actually giving us something that's worth looking at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an attractive woman, and honestly, like a lot of people who are sex educators, I'm not going to say they're not attractive because everyone's beautiful in their own way, but when you look at like, you know, your sex ed teacher from high school or whatever, I'm pretty sure you didn't imagine being able to have sex with that person or imagining them having sex, period. And so when it comes to me being attractive, people look at me and they're like, you know what, I'll take her advice because I'm pretty sure she's getting it in. And I'm pretty sure she's getting it in quite well. So I know she's not lying when she says this thing works. So I think it throws people off, too, because they're like, you're attractive and you're understanding to talk about sex. And I'm like, so I'm supposed to be ugly and talk about sex? Like, I don't get it. But okay.
Definitely. Wow, yeah, they're clapping for you. They're clapping for you.
Thank you.
So how did you get started? How did you get started with this whole with the whole Sexpert thing? Did it just tell me how it got started. I want to ask you the next question.
Well, I originally had a blog about fashion and beauty, and I told myself, you know what, I want to do something of more substance because the market's already heavily saturated with bloggers that talk about, you know, fashion and stuff. And at the time, I was getting deeper into exploring my own sexuality, and I was going through some health issues that are very specific to women, like my ovaries and stuff. And so I was like, man, I know there's other women out there dealing with what I'm dealing with. And so essentially my website started as a way to help women become more liberated in their sexual expression, as well as to educate women about sexual health as far as like our reproductive organs, because there's a lot of diseases and conditions that affect us that don't affect men. And so it started out like that. And then when I started it, I kept getting a lot of like messages from men like, but what about us? We want to learn something too. So I'm like, all right, I'll just do it for everybody. And so that's pretty much how it started. And I had the idea for about 2 years. I sat on it and I talked about it like every day. My mom was like, why don't you just do it? Stop talking about it. And it's funny because my dad actually really encouraged me to do it too, because at the time I was really more into pursuing my modeling career, which I still do model, but he said, you know, you should focus on your writing because your writing will take you places, like will take you everywhere you want to go. And so now because of that, with the blog, you know, I'm a contributing writer for Ebony Magazine, for their website, and for a website called blackdoctor.org. I'm their sexual health editor, and I submit to several other publications, and I was featured on Comedy Central, on Tosh.0. So it's been a real blessing to do what I do. And people always ask me, oh, did you go to school for this? And the answer is no. As a sex educator, you don't have to go to school for this. You can be self-taught. As a matter of fact, a lot of sex educators that are currently educating and doing seminars and conferences, they are self-taught. And it's just a matter of doing a lot of research and a lot of reading and experience as well. So pretty much in a nutshell how I got to where I'm at today.
Wow, I was about to ask you that too. Like, did it come from experience, or was it something that you studied as far as academics?
Both.
A little bit of both.
It has to come from both because, like, right now I'm studying about the women's anatomy of arousal, and the only way I'm going to know about how to help women reach orgasms is by taking what I'm reading and applying it to my own body. And
Mhm.
so it takes a lot of, you have to experiment, I read about like tantric things and energy work and all this stuff. I mean, it gets really, really deep. No pun intended. But it's more than just insert object A into slot B. It's a lot deeper than that. And right now, I've only scratched the surface of what I have to teach people, but I'm just, slowly getting into other aspects of sexuality because people really don't understand the basics. So we have to start there first.
Mhm. And so you plan on writing a book or something in the future?
I do.
Because I could actually see a guide or something of that nature.
Yes, I'm actually currently working on a book and establishing my publishing company. The first book is basically going to be a 52-week sex position guide for couples and singles. So it's going to be a challenge where you start at week 1, and you can start whenever you want to start throughout the year. And it's going to take you through a year of weekly sex positions. And so the intention of the book is to help expand people's sexual repertoire of sex positions, because everybody always just goes to the common 3: missionary, cowgirl, doggy style. I'm done. Really, you just gonna do 3 sex positions for 15 minutes and just be done? No, man, no.
Did you say 15 minutes? Wow, 15 minutes. That was long.
Yeah, because I was gonna say on average, the average man ejaculates within 3 to 5 minutes. So 15 minutes is actually pretty long. And that right there is a very common issue, premature ejaculation. But that's, I ain't going to get into that right now. But, yes, I will be releasing the book, and I'm also going to work on somewhat of a memoir of my sexual experiences. Well, it may be a combination of my experiences and other people's experiences. So it'll be based on true life events. And but the twist is it's not just me talking about me having sex, but it's also to give life lessons in what I've learned in those sexual experiences. So it'll be a story that's written in prose, and then it'll be a real life application of what you can learn from Sexpert Tyomi's sexual experience and how you can enhance your sex life. So I got a few books in my mind that I want to write. It's just a matter of getting the first one out and then just everything following up after that.
Hey, so when you first started, did you take it serious, or were you just this is just funny, and then it just got so overwhelming and anything you got so many followers and so many viewers that it just became serious to you? Or did you just start off serious mode and you knew exactly where you were going with this whole thing?
I started off serious from the jump because I understood the issues with this stuff, and but I didn't know how people would receive it, but I didn't even care because I was just well, this is vital information people need. People search for it every day. If the adult industry generates billions of dollars a year on people watching porn, people are looking for sexual answers, So I took it serious from day one. I mean, I woke up one day, purchased a domain name, was fuck it, and just sat there and figured out how to design, a little, blog or whatever. And at first I wasn't even going to attach my image to it, but then one of my mentors was your image is going to sell this thing, so put your picture up there. And I did. And from the beginning, people just really took interest in what I was doing. And, I mean, within 3 weeks of me starting the blog, I was already getting, radio interviews and stuff. And I was just man, so you're actually feeling me. That's what's up. And, it's always been a serious thing. But the thing about how I present the information, I like to present it in a way that's conversational, number one, and number two, in a way where there's humor behind it, because people already feel very uncomfortable talking about sex, and it's just based on social conditioning that has a lot to do with Puritan beliefs and religion. So if I can make you laugh, then you're going to be engaged and you're going to listen to me, instead of me sounding very clinical like a doctor. And that's one of the things that I get as far as feedback from people who do follow me. They say, I feel comfortable talking to you about these issues. My doctor just makes me kind of feel weird. So that's kind of like a huge responsibility that people will come to me with their issues and not their doctor. They're like, oh, well, this is pretty serious, you know, like real life couples approach me with real life issues, like their marriages are failing and they want my advice. And so people just think, some people may think, oh, this is just some girl who's some freak talking about sex. No, this is some girl who's passionate about sex and passionate about other people having better sex and having better relationships. That's what this is.
So yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, when it comes to like the whole GLAMerotica 101, and all of the videos and things of that nature. With that being said, it's like, do you think like this is like it's a tool and anything for sexual liberation, and not just for women, but also for men? This was like a.
Yes.
Do you think this is like an ultimate tool?
It is, because the thing is, we have to begin to promote open and non-judgmental conversations about sex. If we can put sexual discussions on a platform where it's open and it's free and it's non-judgmental and no one's condemning you for speaking openly about how you feel, about what you want when it comes to sexuality, then maybe the stigma that's on sexuality will be lifted, because sexuality isn't, again, it's just not about inserting object A into slot B. It's not about just dick and pussy. It's about spirituality as well. All of us, we have sexual energy within us, but that sexual energy is also creative energy. So if you're a songwriter and you write a song, or you know, if you're a child and you make a sandcastle, like that creative energy is also within sexual energy. So when you can understand your sexuality more, then you also understand yourself, and you can have a better relationship with yourself and with everybody around you, not just of the opposite sex, but of the same sex as well. So when I say it gets deep, it gets deep. And I just believe that with me being an African-American woman that's young and beautiful and upbeat, and I'm talking about these things, I'm giving people a platform to say, hey, it's okay. You can be comfortable in talking about this. We can have these discussions back and forth. You're not going to be judged. I'm not judging you. No one's judging me either. And for people to see me, you know, rising up and, you know, more people getting to know who I am, and me getting bigger opportunities and getting bigger platforms to speak on what I know, then it shows people, hey, maybe this isn't so bad at all. So the ultimate goal is to use the platform that I've created to just bring down these social barriers of, you know, sexual stigmas, you know. So that's the goal. And I think that this platform is going to work.
Yeah, wow, I just wrote a book recently, Ladies, I Know Why You're Single, and if I had known you before this, I actually would have put you in one of the chapters, because I think that this goes hand in hand with a certain portion of my latest book, you know, because I think that women do need to, as well as men, do need to be abreast of the things that would make sex better and ultimately would make their relationship much better than anything. So I maybe have not had to write that book had I told people about you. So maybe it's good that we just met.
Yeah. Meet people when you're supposed to meet them, you know. So
yeah, definitely. So these guys, the male models, where do you get these guys from? They're like the most luckiest guys in the world.
You know what? It's actually funny because it's a lot harder to find willing participants than what people think it is. Like, the first guy I ever used was a friend of mine. Sorry, hold on 1 second. So the first guy I used was a friend of mine, and he said he wanted to do it. But then he got all weirded out by it, I guess because he didn't know that people were going to start seeing it, and people start seeing it, and he's really into church and religion and all this stuff, so he started acting silly, like, oh, can I use an alias? I'm like, why use an alias when your face is out there? I was like, you know what, forget about it. I'm not going to use you anymore. So then the next guy that I used was a guy that I met off of Twitter that I met at the Exotica Expo, and he was down to do it, but then he claimed that he got a girlfriend, which I think he was lying. But he felt awkward because I was so much bigger than him, and I think that made him feel uncomfortable when he saw it on film, so he made an excuse to say, I have a girlfriend now, so I can't do it. Okay, so the third guy, who's in the rest of my videos, is a fan, and he's a friend, and he was just down for what I do. And so he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then the guy in my most recent video with the professional bathtub surfer based on Beyonce's Drunken Love, he's actually a high school classmate. And, yeah, so all these guys I know personally, and they're just like, sure, I'll do it. But I think sometimes once they get involved in it, except for the last guy, Illinois Jones, he's totally down for whatever. But the other guys, I think they just got kind of awkward and didn't even realize how many people are watching them. Because literally my YouTube channel gets about 900,000 hits in a month.
Jeez.
So, and that's all around. That's like around the world. It's not just like in the U.S. So people from everywhere are seeing you. And the thing is, people don't understand about fame. People are going to say things. People are going to look at you like you're famous because you're on YouTube. Like, YouTube is a huge platform. I mean, look at what it did for Kevin Hart's success in his career. You know what I mean? Look at what it did for Justin Bieber. So you're being seen by real people, and they start to put you on a pedestal. And I think sometimes that attention people can't really handle, but I'm used to being in front of the camera. So for me, it's like second nature. Yeah. But those guys, you know, I'm looking for new people. I'm looking for new models. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. Anybody travel in area that want to travel to come meet me.
Yeah, guys, if you want to be in a Glamerotica, because you know, next I'm gonna try to say this the right way. Tyomi.
Yes.
Tyomi G's videos, Sexpert videos, and hey, give her a shout out. She's on Twitter. Hey, what's your name on Twitter?
It's Glamazon Tyomi. However, there are some stipulations. Number one, you have to be at least 5'10". Number two, you have to be comfortable not wearing a shirt. Number three, it would be nice if you're attractive, and that's up to my discretion. And four, you have to be over the age of 18 and willing to travel. And this is not a paying position. It is strictly for volunteer basis only. So those are all the stipulations. If you want to, you know, just have some. Oh, and I don't have sex with any of these guys, so don't even come over here thinking that that's happening, because it's not. It's not. So.
Okay. There you go. There you go.
FYI.
There you go. Wow. Hey, so what was your most your most popular, like, and not by numbers, but like just in your heart of hearts, like what was your best video? Not even popularity and by popularity, but just what was the best video that you think you put out? Like what really struck a good nerve in you that made you feel like this is the one right here? I liked it. I really enjoyed making it.
It's two. I really enjoyed making my professional bathtub surfer video because I wrote a treatment for it, and the vision for it was all in my head, and then it came out of my head, and it came out to be exactly what I wanted it to be, and it went viral. So I was just like, cool, that's what's up. I mean, even when, like, Wendy Williams even mentioned it on her show, and I was just like, oh, man, that's dope. And it, like, ended up on World Star and Vlad and just, like, all these radio stations, and I was just like, damn, that's what's up. But that was one. The second one is a video riding the North Face.
I saw that today.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, when I'm filming these things, I just never know how people are going to react to it, but I had a lot of fun doing that one. And I think it's because of that video is why Comedy Central hit me up. And so I have to give credit to that video because, I don't know, people just really like it. It got, like, hella views, and I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out in my brain, why do people like this video so much? And I have to do the second one, which is Riding the South Face. So
Riding the South Face.
Sequel. Yeah.
Wow. Riding the South. I'm just going to wait for it to come out. I got to see this.
Yeah.
I also saw the lemons one today. That was quite a video too. I actually posted it still on our Raw Still Mag Facebook page as well. So anybody want to see that, they could go over there and check it out. Wow. So I want to ask you this. You know, what exactly is surfboard, real quick? just so people can, it's better when you can actually see it visually and they can see the video. But a lot of people, they hear, Beyonce say it in a song and they go crazy and they say surfboard and they do the dance and they kicking their legs out and they think they're doing a position, or they think maybe surfboard is a dance that they're supposed to do. Anything, but tell them exactly what surfboard is, if you can, in words.
Well, pretty much what Beyonce was talking about is basically riding her partner while in the bathtub. So it's nothing new. It's nothing that she just created off the top of her head. I mean, I was doing the surfboard, however she wants to call it. I was doing that like 3 years ago. You just got to have a bathtub that's big enough. And as a woman, you just have to know how to ride the D pretty much. And a lot of women apparently don't know how to do it quite well. And I have a tutorial coming up for that. But that's all it is just riding in cowgirl position in a bathtub.
See, simple, ladies. Simple, ladies. Don't get all crazy about it, and don't splash all over the bathroom floor either with all of that water, because you only need a little bit of water.
Yeah, they can watch the video. Watch the video on my YouTube channel. It's the last video that I put up, and it tells you everything and how to do it. You can add champagne if you want. You can have bubbles in there. You can have little rose petals. Make it sexy, or you can just be as plain as you want. I wore a shower cap for 2 reasons. 1, humor, all right? 2, there are some black women out there that don't want to get their hair wet. Things can get kind of crazy with all this 30-inch weave. I mean, you can't really put that up in a bun. Your hair going to be heavy as hell with all that hair up there. So I'm just saying. Like, some people were like, why would she wear a shower cap? That's so stupid. That's not sexy. Shut the fuck up. Like, I'm wearing a shower cap because I'm black and my hair, I don't want it to get wet, number 1. Number 2, it's for humor. It got you talking. It got you watching the video. So you don't have to wear it in real life. Just because I even gave the option. I said you can wear a shower cap or not. Like, use your common sense, people. I don't understand. People don't be having common sense. But, sorry, I had to go off on a tangent for a second because it, really irritated me that people didn't understand that in a real-life situation, you ain't going to sit up here if you horny and be reaching for a shower cap. I'm just going to get it in. Like,
sure.
If my hair get wet, it gets wet. But there are some very beauty-conscious individuals out there that before getting in the bathtub, they probably will put a shower cap on. I mean, if you just got a $500 weave, do you want to get that shit wet? No. So, I'm just saying. I was looking out for my sisters.
So let me ask you: Are you as promiscuous as one might believe that you are, based on the whole Sexpert thing?
I don't even know how to answer that question because everybody's different definition of promiscuity is different. I wouldn't even consider myself to be promiscuous. I would consider myself to be liberated. I mean, I'm a single woman. I don't have a boyfriend, but I do have a friend or 2 or 3. And do I have sex as often as people think that I do? No, and it's quite disappointing. But I do have sex. And I practice safer sex, and I get tested every 3 to 6 months, and I'm 100% responsible with my sex life. And I keep my sex life very private, though, because I just don't believe in putting it out there like that. Because what's the point? But it's safe to assume that I have sex. I mean, I love sex. I write about it. I make videos about it. So it shouldn't be a shock or a surprise to anyone that Tyomi G has sex. But as far as what other people believe, I don't know what they believe because I don't even pay attention to people's opinions about that. Because the average person thinks that having, more than 2 partners in your lifetime makes you a slut. People are very big on slut shaming because of what they've been taught and told through societal conditioning. So the way that I think about sex is completely different than the average person. So I can't even compare myself to that type of thinking because I don't think on that same vibration or wavelength.
Okay. Hey, so all right, we getting down to the end of this conversation, so I want to ask you 2 more things. Second to last thing I want to ask you is, we both posted today, and everybody on the internet been talking about Mimi Faust on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and her sex tape. What do you think about that whole thing?
All right, look, this is what I think. Vivid Entertainment makes so much money off of celebrity sex tapes, and I think that's dope, And it's no surprise that sex sells, and I'm not surprised that someone would make a tape specifically to sell for money. And, you know, of course, to drum up attention for hip-hop women, fine. But my issue with the whole thing is how Mimi went on TV and slut-shamed Jocelyn so bad, calling her all kind of slurs and whores and sluts and prostitutes, yet, and then she tried to make herself seem holier than thou, all this stuff. But then you go and you deliberately make a sex tape to sell and put it out there, which now makes you an adult film star, puts you right into that same industry that you just shamed this woman for being in. My thing is, I'm not judging her for making the tape. Make your money, boo. Do what you want to do. If you feel comfortable expressing your sexuality in that way and putting it on tape for the entire world to see, I'm not judging that. But what I'm judging is her character as far as judging another woman for expressing her sexuality in the way that she did and trying to make herself seem better when she just went and did the same thing, essentially. The tape looks great, you know, and I'm sure she got a fat check for that shit. But I just don't. I feel like it's the pot calling the kettle black, and I do not like when people do that. Don't slut shame someone else for how they choose to live their lives or express their sexuality when you're going to go and do the same thing. Just be real.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
the only thing that I want people is just to be real. And then I saw a clip online today. And she's denying that she has a sex tape out. I'm like, bitch, are you spit? That is your face. That is your body. That's your body.
It's there. No, it's definitely her. It's definitely her. I saw it. It's definitely her. No,
it's definitely her. I saw the clip.
But all right. So, last question. We're gonna let you get out of here because coming to an end for the show. So if anybody was to ask me what makes her an expert, I'm not going to tell them. I'm going to let you tell them. So what makes you an expert? And what makes you a sexpert?
What makes me a sexpert is my extensive knowledge about sexuality and the experiences that I've had that have added to my knowledge about sexuality. That's what makes me a sexpert.
That's what's up. Hey, man, we got...
what makes anybody an expert? See, that's people, you can answer a question with a question. What makes anybody an expert? What makes a person that's a food expert a food expert? Their extensive knowledge about food, you know. So what makes me an expert about sex? My extensive knowledge about sex, my experiences. So, yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, Tyomi G of GLAMerotica101. Check out her YouTube page, GLAMerotica101 on YouTube. Tell them how they can get to you, Tyomi. You let them know.
You guys can follow me on Twitter. I'm always on there, and we have a lot of fun. It's at Glamazon Tyomi, and you can also follow my page on Facebook. Just type in GLAMerotica101 and hit like, please. Thank you very much. Also, check out my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/GLAMerotica101. Hit subscribe, please. Thank you so much for following me. And you can send me an email if you have any questions about anything. Trust me, I've heard it all under the sun. You're not surprising me with what you're going to tell me. So ask me any questions about sexuality, your relationships, whatever you need advice on. You can email me. That's GLAMerotica101@gmail.com. That is not an email for you to try to solicit me for a date. I don't do that. That is not what that's for. Please, only questions about what you need help with. And look out for my two new websites, SexpertTyomi.com and the GLAMeroticaSexAcademy.com. This summer, I will be launching that at Exotica Expo Chicago, July 11th through the 13th. So you can check me out there. And, yeah, look for my articles on ebony.com as well as blackdoctor.org. And check out my blog, GLAMerotica101.com.
Wow. You remember all of that. That's hot. That's hot. Hey, so
I got a big brain, man. Listen, I'm smart as hell. So
hey, thanks for joining us tonight. Stick around, be friends with us forever, and we might need you along the way and anything to let these people know exactly what it is they need to do to keep their sex lives on point. So stay in touch.
I definitely will. You know how to reach me, and I will be on anytime. This is a really great interview, so thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks a lot. And have a good night tonight, lady.
All right. You too.